guys, hello. I'm getting set up here. Have Grace with me here at my little setup. Most people have a nice big desk and so forth. I don't. So we're working on this as we can. So right now I am just going to show you one of the simple ways to do a journal, however, whichever way you'd like to do it. And I'm using some graphics. Well, first of all, I use old catalogs. This came from a church that I've attended, and really nice pages and so forth. And instead of throwing it in the garbage to collect dust and dissolve in the garbage dump or recycle it, I'm recycling it this way. So again, it's nice heavy duty, probably I would say 60 pound maybe, semi-glossy. And I'm using some graphics that I've purchased or picked out or made myself. You can go to Etsy and find all kinds of junk journaling graphics and designs. You can make your own through Canva, Photoshop, etc. I use my own photography and everything as well. So this fits perfectly, and I just like the fact that this color matches this so perfectly. So you've got this beautiful kind of rusty red, and there's some of that in here. And then you've got the music and the little Colosseum thing. I've already cut this down a little bit, which I'll use. I'm going to do the cover in something else. Maybe, I don't know yet. I almost always do the cover last because it's, that way I can open and close it, because I usually put gemstones and things like that on the cover. So I'm going to use my Elmer's glue that just seems to work the best for the cost. Some people like to spend the money and buy, the whole acid free. I don't care about the acid free. It really does not make a big difference. It does not. The only thing with the acidic ones is that in time they do fall apart. In the old school, back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, and so forth, the tape and so forth would just wither away. Okay, the new stuff that you can use, regular Scotch tape, double face tape, and so forth, it's okay to use. Now, if you have something really pristine that you want to save, say it's a picture that's from the 1800s or 1900s, then maybe you want to just take it to a photo shop place that only will restore and only use really high quality items. But for regular journaling, it does not matter. And people will argue with me. I don't care. I'm not looking for arguments. I'm looking for cost effective. There's a reason I'm recycling things. Okay, I recycle books, I recycle catalogs, I use mailings. If it wasn't about recycling, then and only using pristine things, well, I'd have to be super rich, and then just be paranoid about every little thing I put in, because then I can't use the ink, and I can't use this and can't use that. So just keep it simple. I think take heed with, if there's something quality that you really want to preserve, then go for the items and the tapes and the glues that are acid free. You want to stay away from the smells. Anything that's really smelly could be cancerous and so forth, so you want to be careful with that. But just for your day-to-day journals that you're making and creating, use something good. I have had great success so far over the last 8-9 years with just using the Elmer's glue. And I didn't think I would like this. I thought, oh no, this is not going to work. But I've been doing the journals for over 8 years, and had great success just using this, and I use my for the things that need to be really secured down well, I use my basics double face tape. You can get it smaller, like I think they go a quarter inch. This one is an inch wide. I like the inch wide because I can cut it down. It's not precise always, but I can cut it down to size when needed, and it works very well. So I have to put that down. Okay, so this works really, really well. It's very secure. I don't know if this is acid free or not, but you could pull it up at the basicsproducts.com. You can get these on Amazon, and you can see the website right here, right in here. And I have had great luck with this as well. They have this guarantee. Now, post COVID, I don't know how that works, but I've never had a problem with this tape at all. This is the only one I use, is this particular one, the 1 inch. And the last time I bought it was probably 8 years ago. I bought a case of maybe 25, maybe, and that lasts a long time. So one of these is about that thick and really lasts. It lasts me months and months and months because I'm only using small pieces. For this case, because this is semi-glossy, I might go ahead and secure it with the tape. The only thing I don't like about using the tape is it does make it a little, with the glue, it's flush. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use the tape on this one. I'm going to use the glue. Because with the tape, you might get a little bump here and there if it's not lined up secure on a big piece like this. So, I use old, I use old scrapbook paper to use my glue and everything. And I'm probably going to have to print out some more. I've been using my what was I going to say? I've been using my, I forgot what I was going to say. But I do less complex journals. I might get into some more in-depth, complicated ones, but a lot of people are afraid, or they say, how do you do this? I want to try it. And again, I keep it super simple for those who want to make it. These are super great ways to give very personalized gifts. So if you wanted to make something like this for Father's Day, now it will take some time. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. You can get pictures online. You can get pictures in mailers. You know, I use a lot of mailers. And when you're gluing down a big sheet, you got to kind of be careful. And actually, it's weird. I want to use it this way. The music is upside down. Or is it? Anyway, the Colosseum music, or whatever that is, the organ chord things are... You got to just be careful you push it out. Okay? And just start from the center and go out. Like so. To make sure it's flat. Otherwise, you might get a little buckling. It's nice because this is already secured. Now, by the time I'm done with this, I might want to reinforce it with either material or washi tape, and that's a great way to reuse and recycle. So for right now, I'm just going to go with this. And again, I'm using this beautiful magazine from... sorry. Okay, so again, it's really nice paper and so forth. So I'm gonna pull out. I have a stack. I have a whole file cabinet of things I've already printed out that I liked and I want to use. So I will pick out some. So I print out pieces like this, and I might use some butterflies are very popular. I also sit down and do clear stickers and create that just to have handy, and scriptures and words to have handy. Let's see. I picked up these cute girls from Etsy, from an Etsy seller. And I'm going to stick with, these colors and schemes here. Some of the stuff I make, some of it I get from design bundles. And I know here's pieces that I will use. I always say I'm going to do themes, and then I end up kind of changing that a little bit. And I really do want to make some thematic. These are more stickers. I'm going to pull those out. Alright, let's see here. I need some backgrounds. Alright. Where did that go? Come back. I love this. So I've got these here. So I do fussy cut. A lot of people love to use the Cricut and so forth, and the scan and cut. It takes too much time. And then when it messes up, and then I can cut faster than set up the mat, put the paper in and everything. That's just too much work with these with all of that. So I love this. So now I got these, I think, from design bundles, and then I took a stamp and I just stamped Embrace the Journey. So again, with this whole theme color thing, works very well. And use your imagination. Again, a lot of times I will use a lot of times I will use, again, I forgot what I was going to say. I got too much here going back and forth. Sorry, guys. I need to get to the place where I can, get music. I would love to do more Um, oh, also too. Okay, here's another thing I use is this is packing paper from Grove, and sometimes Amazon will put this kind of paper in, but not very often. You never know what you're going to get with Amazon. But Grove is a company I buy certain things from a couple times a year, and I'll sit down because they're very generous with this overall, and it's serrated like you just heard. And this is a great tool to use as well for the back of the back pages. So just to be able, and again, it saves some money because I can just put that right here, cover this up. And it doesn't have to be like perfect in the sense of cutting because I'll be adding and covering this up. And I don't want to get too close to the edge, but close enough that when I put a secure tape or whatever I'm going to do to help enforce the binding here, I want to be able to put this close enough that it'll cover it. And I'm sorry for my nails. They're not. I did them the other day, and then I didn't wait and let them dry. Eeks. So this is a great way to, and then I can add all these other beautiful things to it. So, oh yeah, so the fussy cutting is just so much faster, And here's the deal. So these are my regular, just old cheapy Scotch scissors, which I think are going. I mean, I do use these a lot. Like you can see the handle wearing down. These I got about a year ago. This is by Bare Bones, and I'm going to make a list here. I said. I always forget to do all that extra stuff at the end. To do the hashtags. But these are really, really great. Wooden handle, very heavy steel. The Scotch ones are cheap. This is that, what do you call this? The real lightweight stuff. And then I do have a small pair in here somewhere. I have my basic cutting thing here. I use this to peel the tape back. What else do I have? I have, my X-Acto here. And what else? Where are my little scissors here? What else? What else? Okay, so that's basically, these are really sharp. And when I'm going to use, these are super, super nice. You want to get steel scissors. Makes a huge difference. So, okay, so you really want to prefer to get the steel scissors when you can. This was at a local company resale shop in my area, in the Chicagoland area. But you can go online and find these, and definitely I suggest the bare bones. I've had these probably for 2 years. They've been working fine. And if I can, oh, here they are. These little scissors get caved in. And I've just got a tiny little pair that I use. And again, I prefer the steel, but for those real intricate places when I want to get close up, I use these. These are usually used for like thread and scissors and stuff, but sometimes I have these just to cut for small spaces and small items. And I just have those handy here. I have another pair of Fiskars are really the best. I've had these probably for 30 years or so, and they still do me well. They're again that, why can't I think of the name? It's on the tip of my tongue what this is made of, like not a fiber, but it's like that lightweight. It's not the steel, and that's what they make most of these out of now, whereas back in the day it was the steel ones. And yeah, but they work well for what I'm doing here. I'm probably going to have to replace the Scotch ones, although they've done me well. I use them every single day for cutting all of these things, and I've been doing this for 8 years. Probably had these for about 5 years. They're about due to be replaced. But the Fiskars are always reliable. And again, I've had this pair for probably 30 years at least. So, and I keep those handy right here. I love my non-skid academic ruler. It's great because it's got the no slide, and I can use it to rip if I want to. And these used to be at Office Max for like 89 cents. So I have a couple of these. My kids used them when they were in school. I like that they're metal. They're sturdy. And I had a plastic pair, and I don't know where they went. And I've got a longer one as well. I have my sturdy, which I rarely use, but it's nice to have for a bigger 12-inch, you know. So anyhow, so I'm going to kind of lay this out so I know how much I need with this. And you know, the fun thing is that to make the fun edges, you can rip. You don't have to cut. And you can use this later if you want to. Because this has got a scripture on it and everything I do is Bible-based, I use as many scriptures as possible. So I can do this and put that here, cut that off. And again, I use my what I can do, I think I like the idea of putting this here. So again, it can be super easy, and this is such a great way to, I use just scrap paper to make, or to put my to glue things on. So I love this fact, and you know what, even though this has got, and I did this upside down, because there's a little boy angel, but you know what, I think I might just cut him off. Because I made a mistake and printed the words, and the angel guy is upside down. And I have to, you know, I'm careful. I'm not into the Gothic thing, and this is borderline. But when you want to just make something, and you don't have to cut it. You can do a nice rip, and like that. And that looks really great there. And then I'm going to put this here. So we've got the stuff that I don't want to use covered. And so first of all, I'm going to glue this down before I lose this little perfect sized piece. Now, the only thing I would wonder about down the road is if this as a semi-glossy paper, how long it will hold the glue down when the glue dries. But I'm not worried about 12 years from now, because most likely whoever has this probably won't keep it for 20 years or 30 years. Maybe they will, and if they do, they can re-glue it, okay? Not a big hoo-ha. And again, I use old, any kind of papers that I might print out. I will recycle those to glue on, so that way I don't make a mess on my table and so forth. This one's empty now. And the purple does dissolve. I was worried about that in the beginning when I started using this one, but it just seems to be the cheapest, so I will get this on Amazon. They have specials sometimes. And Walmart's really cheap with the glue. With the basics tape, I would use I would go on Amazon and see if you can find a good deal. I think it might be cheaper than buying it on Amazon, because some things Amazon's just not cheap with. So just kind of be aware and sometimes you gotta do a little research to see if the company might offer free shipping, or maybe you'll get a bonus or a discount or something. I used to get them at our local dollar store before Dollar Tree took over. And already I'm real happy with how this is turning out so far. What I will probably end up doing, I've got these stickers. These stickers I created myself. It's clear stickers from Avery. Which I like a lot. These are 5160. You have to figure out how to print these on your own computer, but the tone of this red is awesome. So what I can do to make sure that these edges, what you have to worry about are the edges coming off as you're turning the pages. So I'm going to do that there. And I might go ahead and do... This one's got a little orange, and there's a little bit of orange down here, kind of an orangey yellow, almost a light burnt sienna kind of deal. I put that there, so this works out great. All right, so that's awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, this is my so I've got my pile here. Usually, sometimes what I'll do if I'm making something specific, I will get a little container, and all my containers are kind of full because I'm cleaning out my all my extra little pieces and getting rid of and bundling things. So if you are interested in any little boxes of Euphoria, I think that's what you call it. It's such a weird word, and I still can't get used to it. But just little pieces of, of this kind of stuff. I am making piles of it. I have 2 baskets full, and things that I've put together, and then just extra pieces laying around. So I figured instead of throwing it out, because I need space desperately, I might sell it, either on groups or, all right, this fits perfectly. So I think what I might do with this one, because it is a little bit larger, and I don't want, I don't know, I keep going back and forth, and I decided just to glue that one, but I think just to keep the edge on here so it doesn't fall off. Let's see. That's there. And now usually what I do, guys, is, okay, let me give you a trick. So this pair I usually use to cut the tape because the tape gets a little gluey on here. I buy some inexpensive lemon, essential oil. Lemon is fantastic. I just don't use the good stuff. Go buy some cheap stuff for $7 or $8, okay? And then you got to be careful not to get it on your work because it will stain. And to get all that goopy out, I just put a drop there. I close it and do that. And I keep cheap baby wipes that I get wherever, in a dollar store, Aldi, Amazon, and just boom, it's cleaned off. All that goop is off of there. So that's fabulous. And then I just save this for if I need to wipe something later. You know, I just kind of keep it where it's not gonna get anything wet. That's the best way to get glue off. But you got to be careful not to get it on your product because it will leave a stain. Okay, be real careful with that. But I get this from Grove when I do make a purchase. It's under $10 for a big bottle. This is the 30 milliliter for 1 ounce. So that's a really great, and it smells really good. It smells really good. So that's a cheat. You can use the baby wipe, but you have to struggle with it. The oil makes it come off real easy, guys, super easy. So definitely have baby wipes handy. I think handy wipes run about $1.50 at Aldi's, maybe something like that, somewhere around there. So that's a really great idea. And again, or you know what, if you know somebody that's got a baby, you know, your grandkids or something, and they use a lot of baby wipes, buy them a case for 20 bucks. You can get a case for 20 anywhere. Walmart. Make sure you get unscented. Get the unscented because you don't want all that scented crap that's got cancer and weird toxic stuff in it. Icky. And then when you do use the tape, now this is a little trickier, and it's kind of nice to have the purple to be able to see that you've placed it everywhere. And there we go. And then I'm going to take that tape off. And I'm only doing the one side of the tape just to make sure that stays secure in the spot where it's going to be, you know, most vulnerable as you are moving the pages. And then as you stick it down, whether it's tape or glue, make sure that you fold it. Now I've got a couple creases, and you can kind of push those out sometimes. What's kind of nice about the creases, if you do get them, is you can make it look really cool. So whether you use, because I'm an artist, I use these pencils, these art pencils, and you can do this like so. I can make these super dark where these creases are, make it stand out like I meant to have the creases there. I also have this cute little, I don't know the store, so I cannot give it credit, but this is just a big piece of lead and made into a bird. And my niece bought these for me somewhere in Indianapolis, I think. There was a store that made these, and it's not giving me the emphasis that I want because it's too big, okay? So a pencil would be better, but then what I can do is, let's see, I need brown, so I'm going to grab my Distress inks. I don't have my brown handy. Alrighty, let me go find my brown. I gotta dig. Hold on. All right. So I've got, I might use this in a bit. This is the Wild Honey Distress ink. So I can do a little bit. This works much better, I will say. Better than the pencil. So you see how that has just lifted. But with the pencil, it still gives a little definition that I kind of like. And then I can do the brown over it. And it kind of makes it match a little bit. I love it. Love it. Love it. I don't want to get too much ink on this glossy paper because the glue, things I glue down, might not stick very well. But I can just put a little tiny bit, just very gently, doing that, very gently. Makes it just easier than pulling out the brushes and going over that. Okay, and now, okay, let me show you another thing. I just got these on Amazon. And I'm trying to these beautiful stickers, vellum and so forth, are awesome. This is vellum. I'm just going to pick a couple out because I think I'm going to probably use most of them. So easy to add here. I'm loving. Now, actually, these are not stickers, but I do have some that are. But Amazon is the way to find these because they're not. You can't find too many stickers and things like that in Michael's and so forth and Hobby Lobby like you used to. Very disappointing because I hate buying through Amazon because you can't see it, and I hate doing returns even though it's easy, and it's a pain in the winter because if it gets bad in the winter time and you don't want to go out, well, you got a couple of days usually, but I just don't like doing returns. I try to, the whole point of, now I will say, okay, when you're using vellum, I made a mistake. This is probably going to come off because it's vellum. Vellum is very plasticky, and so you have to kind of reinforce it, and I should have used tape. And I'm afraid that since I put the glue on there, it might not work. Eeks. So, my bad. Should not have done that. So I'm going to do this. I'm kind of adding as I go. And so what I'm doing is I'm decorating this now, and I'm going to add words later. That's just my method. Some people go page by page and do it, complete the page, but what I like to do is when I'm in the midst of having all of my stuff out, I like to just get all this mess out, do it, and then come back and finish with the fine tune. Add my words and so forth. So I'll tell you what I'm probably going to be doing with this is, what are... I think what I might do, since the amount of scriptures and the topic of this one that I came up with today will probably fit perfectly in this booklet, and the topic and theme will be the cost of following God over family. And then I've got all the scriptures. So what I'll do is either I have some old Bibles that I use to cut up the verses with. Please don't complain that that's sacrilegious. I'll delete your messages, your comments. Because when you go to the Goodwill or whatever, or people might just throw Bibles out, I would rather use the verses and put them in something like this that's meaningful for people that maybe don't read their Bible or whatever, and I'd rather utilize that Bible than have it go in the garbage or sit at Goodwill until they dump it. So I use older versions of Bibles. 2 or 3 of them I have that I work through, and sometimes I'll do that because I want to save on my paper and my ink on my printer. It's easier to do that. A lot of times I will use my own handwriting, so it just depends on what my theme and how I want to do it. So this is probably going to be the theme of this particular book. So I'm going to just put this in here so I know that that's my reference of what I'm going to do. So this won't take me too long to finish this. And I think I might continue on with using these. So and another thing that you could do, so like in this case, this would be a good reinforcement, to reinforce and put double, and I'm going to show you this because I think this is a really great idea. All right, so what I'm going to do, measure this out. And again, here's one way of reinforcing your pages, whether you're making them fresh with your own paper or using a magazine, because they will only work so long. Okay, it's just staples in heavy duty paper. Not always the most secure thing. So what I will do here, this will fit perfect in my thought and process of it all. I'll put it this way, okay. And a little bit with the serrated edges, that's kind of cool. I like that idea. And perfect. Okay. So what I'll do, and then just to make sure it fits well, I'm going to go ahead and crease it over. And I'm going to probably come back and do something similar to that to the other pages as well. And you know what? You probably don't even have to do it to all the pages, but just a few of them, just to give it extra, again, extra reinforcement. And so I'm going to measure this out to make sure I don't go over, which wouldn't be a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you go over, you can just cut it down. And again, pretty simple. I love the ladies who do those complicated journals, and oh my gosh, and the sewing and the lace and all. I love those. I don't have the space to do that, and I don't know if I'd have the patience to deal with the sewing machine. So here's a great thing. So here, when you do the cross pages over, this is going to give it some nice reinforcement. So I think maybe every other page, or maybe every page, we'll see. You'll bulk it up a little bit if you do every page. So that's awesome. That's perfect. Woohoo! And then I think what I'm going to do too, okay, this is awesome. Awesome, awesome sauce. And then I'm going to just go ahead and put this over here. This is my scratch paper. Put that down here. And I'm just going to glue on, and again, I get these glue sticks pretty cheap. It's still cheaper than the tape. The tape used to be cheap at the dollar store because you get a 2-pack for $1. Then it went up to $1.05, and then Dollar Tree came in down the street, and this particular dollar store that I absolutely loved went out of business. They were there for like 10 years, and people didn't even know they were there, next to a major grocery store in our town. And people, I didn't know there was a dollar store there. It's like, really? Do you people open your eyes? 10 years it's been there. And it had the big sign, dollar, whatever it was called, dollar stop or whatever it was. And then just, again, roll that out. And press it out. Perfect. I can go ahead and do the whole stamping thing. This is just the best way. You know, sometimes I'll just do the little highlighting with a marker to get the, look at the creases on that. Isn't that awesome? So awesome. Love it. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Easiest way. And I tell you what, Ranger Tim Holtz is the best. It's the best. Such good quality. Been using those pads forever. The black ones I use a lot more of, so I have to replace. I haven't replaced mine yet, but I need to. After like 8 years, it's just time to get a new one or two, because the black ink is the one that's, you know, you usually use the black most for inking words and outlines and stuff like that. So just the easiest way. And you know what, you can make these guys. Use old catalogs. If you have stuff in your basement, go through it and get those old catalogs or phone books or whatever. The only thing with phone books, I do use the phone book sparingly, but it makes me a little nervous. I try to cross off phone numbers or the names, because you don't know what freaky people might see and look those people up. So you got to be careful with the phone book. You can use the pages. I try to make sure I cover up the names. Y'all, I love doing this. This is just too much fun. Too much fun. Too much fun to have someone be blessed with, you know, woohoo! All right. I'm just trying to think if I want to use some washi tape. I'm going to wait on the washi tape. I use my washi tape sort of sparingly. This one, oh yeah, this is perfect. Awesome. That works well. So that was the edge of that paper that I printed out. And I might have to print more. Y'all, if you're going to do these things and you need to buy a printer, buy a good printer, spend the money. I bought a printer, and I'm just a cheapy one because funds were tight that month, and I'm so regretting it. It doesn't always, it prints when it wants to print, so I could wait a day. I can unplug it, restart it. It's just a piece of junk. And I do love my HP. This is a DeskJet 2755E. I love the fact that you can, you know, print from your phone and stuff now. But this one, I have always had HP. I tell you what, I miss my original HP from like 15 years ago. Oh my God, that thing was a rock. I probably printed tens of thousands of things on that. So awesome. And then it just wore out. And they're so cheap now. They're made so cheap now. I just don't like it. But the next one I'm going to get pretty soon, hopefully, will be just a much better quality one. I do like HP overall because they send me my ink. I was hesitant about it, but I'm telling you what, it's the bomb. All right, I think with this one, I'm going to put this. I like the fact that we've got these brown background pages, so I'm going to keep this in that theme. And work this out. And you know what, you can never have enough scripture, so even though my theme will be something a little different, I can still add that. Okay, now with this, maybe that would work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just rip this. I do have hymnals. This one was when I was printed out. So whether you pick up a hymnal at the library, at the resale area of the library, they have a lot of good books that you can use, encyclopedias and so forth. I picked up an old encyclopedia set that I'm letting it air out a little bit because it's really old. It was in the garage, a garage, not mine, and I'll be using that. So that is fabulous. I'm going to just add this. I don't like that little gray spot there, so I'm going to just cover that up because I don't like that little gray spot there. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to have to cover this up down here, but that's for later. Okay, I need to come over here and add something here, which I think, you know what, I love these little girls, so I'm going to cut. I don't want. So again, you have to figure every computer and printer prints different ways. So I cannot instruct you and help you to print out multiple pictures on a page. Find out how to do it, because I tell you what, you'll save paper, you'll save, you know, I could do 16 of these on one page, or 6. I could do 2. Depends on how big or small that I want them. So I can print. I could have printed this with just 2, and it would have been 2 big picnic tables, picnic basket things, or I could have done 16, which would have made it smaller. Just depends. But it's just how my HP is set up. I'm sure that I found that when I had my Canon, it was way more difficult to construe that. So I gave that Canon away, went back to HP, because HP is more user friendly. And I might use 2 of these just because I like it. And put that up here. And I think with this one, I'm going to cut this down. Just because I don't like all this grunge. There's just something kind of icky about it I don't like. So I might cut that down and use that for something later. With this girl, I think I'm going to put her down here. Can you see that? No, you can't. I got to put this up a little higher. Alright, I like her right here. And I think, again, because of having her on the edge here, even though I'll reinforce the edges, I will still put the tape on here just to keep it secure, just on the one edge, and then I'll put glue on the rest of it. Not perfect, but it's there. And because the edge of the tape went over a little bit, I'm just going to cut here, and then it won't. I'm cutting the paper, not the glue there. So do that. And I'm going to bring her over just a little bit, because I will most likely put something around the edges here. And then just put the tape or the glue around the edges. And if you wanted to, you could use tape as a just for one little portion, and then glue the rest, you know, a little piece on the top or each corner. That would secure it, and then you're gonna have a little bit of bump to it, so you got to be careful with that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and loving how this looks. So I gotta figure out what I want to do up here. I am going to find some backgrounds here. I gotta go to my computer now. So I have a file on my computer for my digital downloads that I get from either uh, wherever I get them. You know, whether it's Etsy or who else do I use? Sometimes with I'll get Etsy. I'll buy some Etsy digitals because they're cute, or I make them myself. Um, so just give me a second here. These are library cards, and I love using those because it's just cool. Part of my past, you know, and it's just fun to use these. And you could, if you come across any of these old library card things, grab them. Pay $1 or 50 cents or something, and then use those as a little extra here and there. This one's just got a little, okay, that would work here. So this one's got a little bit of pink and purple, and I just want to get rid of this extra. I could do a couple of things here. Yeah, that didn't work out like I thought it would, but that's okay. So this is just hidden. There's plants here. I don't mind having those plants down here. So that's okay, but I wanted to get rid of this portion of my sticker thing just to save space. So let me go back here and find some brown. And again, you don't have to have a computer file, Photoshop, or use Canva. All you have to do is get some really nice catalogs that come in the mail. And you'll find that, so many nice magazines. Not like they used to be. Used to be back in the day, we used to get a lot. But if you ever can get a Christmas catalog or something of the sort, delivered to your house, especially around the holidays, grab it, and recycle it and use it. And I'm going to print this one that I got from, I don't know where I got it from, but it's super cute. I'm trying to find the right tone of brown here. I got a lot of oranges, greens, and I'll show you when I'm done. Oh, this is cute. Do I like this one? I think I like this one. I mean, I have thousands and thousands. And then I do watercolor. If I really like the outcome of my watercolor items, I will utilize them by scanning them or taking a picture of them and printing it out. I don't know if I like this one, but I might print it just to see. So I have a whole file drawer that I keep my printables that I might not use. Or I use a portion of it, and then instead of throwing it away, I have a file system. And I know everyone in the electronic day and age, they don't want all that. But you know what? We're crafters. We're designers. Oh, this is perfect. Love it. I'm gonna hope that my printer won't just stop. It'll just stop after I've done a certain amount of printing tasks, and it'll just say, "Yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow." And I can unplug it, I can restart it, and I don't keep this stuff on my desktop that I'm printing. I usually close it out so I can move on to the next thing. And it can get a little wonky sometimes. But that's it. That's technology. Wahoo to the wahoo. So here's a couple of pages. Now the only thing is these computers, these HPs, do not go to the edge, which makes me crazy. I'd have to get a better one. Now this one I think is a little too peachy, maybe, I don't know, but it might work with the butterflies, so I might use this one still as a small portion, if possible. So, but these are what I'm printing out now. I don't think I'm going to use this because that's really not the feel of this particular one, so I'm going to put this to the side and use it for another item that I have. I might use the pink, the magenta, I'm not sure. It doesn't really have too much magenta on it, but that could change. And I'm loving this one. This one's awesome. Now this has got a little bit of the pink, and the pink can it can work. It might be able to work, especially like on this page. This one's in between being too frou-frou. This one I'm not going to use as a full page, but I might use a strip of it. And I love this one. I might use with the hearts here for up here to cover this portion. So I want to get the heart in here, so I'm probably going to cut it from this way, from this direction. So I can do this a couple ways. I usually end up just cutting it, but I can use my Fisker cutter. And this has served me well too. I've probably had this for 30 years or so. Love it, love it, love it. Didn't cut it down as far as I want to go. I'm not paying attention here to what I'm doing. And it's hard to get it over because the way that they made this. Whoop. Yeah, forget about it. I'm going to cut it. When you get to the edge like that, it doesn't always work too well with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this here at the edge, because this little guy is too temperamental at the very edge, and I don't have the patience. Got it done. And if it's a little off, that's okay. So I want to get these. I want this to overlap on my brown page here. So I'm going to cut it right above this heart here. I like how that's going to look. And then we can do that. I'm going to bring it over just a little bit. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this down here. And I'm going to put that here. Now, another way you can secure your edges really nicely, and you can get super creative with this, with your backgrounds is to... All right, here's another background. I love this background a lot. And same thing, different tone. Orangey brown, rusty brown, and brown brown. So I'm going to use those in the other pages. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do here is I am going to use the tape and tape on this. I'm going to move this over. And if you want to use, the glass works really well, and I didn't, this is kind of crooked, but that's okay. I'm going to firmly hold that down, cut that. And then, oops, oh no, I hate when this, oh darn it. That messed up on me. So that happens. If I pull it up, it's going to rip. So much for that method. That happens. It's kind of nice to use. I can use this on my cutter. But I'm gonna, or I can use my knife to cut that down. And then here, I'm just going to go this way and do this. Pull this up. Oh, and I wrinkled it a little bit, but that's okay. So I don't want to cut the tape here, so I am going to just pull this off. I like to use my little ceramic cleaner to pull that. It saves my nails a little bit. That works great. And then I'm going to put this on here. Perfect. And do that. Sweet. And then so because I went over, and I can do a couple of things. I can take my little cutter and go, oh shoot, I did that wrong. Darn it. Ah. Okay, I should have done that before I took the backing off, so I'm not going to do that. But what I could have done is before I took the back off, laid that down, taken my knife and cut that. I'm not going to do that now, so I'm going to take the backing off here, and then I'm going to fold it over. It'll be a little thicker, and I don't mind. It's okay. And now it's curling up and being a little temperamental, and you run with it. You run with it. So I could put glue on. I'm probably going to put a little bit of glue here. Just to keep this down. If you don't, you might get some buckling. So in the spaces where there's no tape, you want to add a little bit of glue just to keep it down. So what I'm going to do here is get it as close to the top as I can, over to the edge. And if you mess up, it's okay, you know. And then I'm going to fold it over. Again, this gives it a little bit of extra security. I could even make a tab out of that and bring it out a little bit more. So that'll have a tab on here. So that's what this looks like here. And in order to make that a little bit, so yes, it'll stick out a little bit, but that's okay. And I could do that for a couple of other things. So what I'll end up doing here is, because this is a little thicker, because it's a heavier paper than this paper, is I will do some washi tape to secure that down so it doesn't lift up. And I happen to have this brown one here, which I think will work fine. Give it a little bit of depth. And I'm going to bring it on down. I can take it down as far as I want to take it down. I secure this because washi tape doesn't always stick well. So I'm going to add a little bit of tape, a little bit of glue onto the tape for security, because washi tape often will come up in humidity and so forth. So if you're in a hot state, washi tape might be kind of wonky for you. And that just covers, and it gives security in between. Nice reinforcement, and it covers the paper. Now, I can do the same thing across here if I choose to, which I might as well. I'll show you how that works. So you see there's a little edge here, a little edgy space there. So I can take that, and I can do enough to go over and do the same thing I did with the paper. And now the fun part of this is I've got such limited space here. Do my best with the space I have. I'm going to lay this down. Kind of tricky. I can put a little, have that hold on to onto my cup there. And then add more here. Alright. And then I'm gonna, and again, this just secures that paper so it doesn't come off. Make sure that you get rid of your glue on your, and then come over. And that didn't match up really well. Again, my bad. You roll with it. You just roll with it. And that covered up most of that page. Now, what I'll probably do later, I have to decide how I want to do the edges. I'm feeling a little daring these days to put material or something over here. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do. I usually don't do that, but we'll see. That can come later. I don't have to do that right now. So here, because this is open, and has so much nice space, I might just want to only cover up the words here, okay? So what I can do is use this again, this paper that I used before, and I'm going to kind of just see where I want it to be cut. Grab my pencil, and I'm going to cut it across here. And again, because you're doing a lot of layering, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It doesn't have to be precise, as long as it covers up what you want. And I did that wrong. I messed up. Alright, but that's okay, because I could end up using this girl. That's the same girl. What happened to the second girl? I had a second girl. Where'd she go? Well, I messed that one up. So that can go there. I really messed that one up. Measured bad. Alright, so we can start over here. Put that there to here. And then you're not wasting. And now I have a couple other little pieces here. And I'm going to put that right over here. And again, I'm not too worried about preciseness. Sometimes I'll get my cutter. I will use a regular cutter and cover up or cut pages. Fantastic there. And then I can go from here, you know, and just kind of do maybe a little bit of this. And I can add again, layer, layer, layer. And then I'm going to add one of these here, which I think will fit nicely. And again, this is one of the, it's a little flower, very dainty and soft. Kind of brightens up the page a little bit, which works. It's a little bit different, but the feel, the color, and everything is nice. And I can even add maybe a word or scripture on here when we get to the end. That looks great. I love it. Love it, love it. All right. I'd love to hear comments. Make sure you follow and subscribe. I definitely need to be more consistent coming on here. And it will take time as I am doing more of these. sometimes the glue gets a little messy on these, and that's okay. This. I take old ads too from the grocery store that come in the mail, and poop. I cut those up to use for gluing on. Nice little way to hold your glue is one of these little bottles. Perfect. And it holds it up, easy to access instead of it rolling down. How many times I've had it roll down? So here we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. I want to cover up the pictures on these, so that will be awesome to do this way. I don't have to worry too much about the edges. Again, I'll cover up the edges when I decide how I'm going to perfect. There's that. And it works out nicely because this kind of red, rusty red, same tonnage, that works nicely. And then this darker brown, walnut brown, will be nice on that page with the grays and blacks in the background. Yeah, I kind of want to cover that. Okay, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I have my garbage right next to me so I can get rid of all these little pieces. I think I'm going to do that. All right. So, alright, so wait. Just checking on a couple things here. In 1 second. I think what I'll do is... Alright. I'm going to finish these 2 pages. You get the idea with these and what I'm doing, and then I am going to go ahead and finish the backgrounds and then come back with how I'm going to finish the pages. So that way you're not here watching this for 4 hours. And I hate editing. And editing for, half a day is just, to me, is pointless. And I'm not doing the work I need to do to sell. God bless all the people who go through and edit their stuff. I guess they're way better than I. You can fast forward faster than I can edit. So let's put it that way. And then I'm going to upload this, and then so here I'm going to do this, just add this in here just to hold the centers down so it doesn't get puffy. If you don't do this, it might get puffy, and you don't want that. And then I think what I might do is, because I didn't go really precise to the edges, I'm going to cut down the edges a little bit so they don't stick up too much. And we'll definitely be putting more reinforcements down. And on occasion, like if you're in a hurry or you're tired or really not paying attention or something, you might get a little buckling in it all. So you just want to be careful with that. And you got to be careful when you're laying these down so that it will not buckle. And sometimes I don't always succeed at that. So you kind of want to start sort of like what I'll do is I kind of know where I'm going to go here and go out and then go out like that. I'll do that again for you in a second here so you can see. Alright, so here. Alright, now alright, so I'm folding this inward and I'm kind of guessing where I want it to go, knowing each side. You can always cut it down if you go over here or above it. And I went a little close here. I was pretty confident where I was going with that, so that worked out well. But I guesstimate, I don't sit here and get too precise with it all. I'm going to put her up here. Even though I used her before, I'm going to use her again. I just really like her on this page. All that tonnage. And so adorable. I'm going to add the last of this musical page. And I think I might put this up here. And then okay, and I'm going to use this little guy here. But I'm going to, it's vellum, so I'm going to use tape so it will stick, because with the glue it will come off. I did that on the last one, and I'll probably have to go make sure I cover it with washi tape or something, because once I put the glue on I have to just take it off and get rid of it. Do that. these scissors have just had it. They're starting to get, I will say that the Scotch green used to be a really good one. Not so much anymore. These are on their last, very last legs. This, not fiber. Why do I want to say fiber? But this, what do you call this? It's not metal. It's something they did it to make it lightweight, and I can't think of the name of it. It sucks. Crap. Just use steel. Just use steel. Looks like it's going to start raining out here by us. And let's see. I'm going to do that. That's cute. All right, so I'm going to stop here with you guys so you get the idea of the layout of what this looks like. I'm going to finish these last 7 or 8 pages here and then figure out. Now, because this is blue, that bothers me. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'll put some bigger scripture up here, type it out, and put it up here. Maybe leave some of the trees intact with the brown buildings. I like the green and the skyline, but this blue space is bothering me with this style and theme that I'm making. So I might just go ahead and do something like this to cover the blue, because I just don't like. I love the picture, love it, love it, love it, but for this theme, it just isn't working for me. And the rest of the pages are the darker colors and so forth. So, yeah, got a little bit of blue here, but I'm not going to show the people in here. And then that. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm probably going to do some more backgrounds like this, cover those up, and then I'll come back and have a part 2 for you. All right?